My name is Anna, and the topic that I will be sharing today is a very sensitive topic. This topic actually has a huge um, effect on in most individuals because this topic is actually very deep. In fact, um, oh, by the way, I have already created a video related to this topic, which was actually an hour and a half long. However, the angle of the video that I created is is actually, I don't know what it's called. Is it horizontal? Like I used the camera standing, and I know someone already told me to take a video. If you're using a cell phone, you put the cell phone sideways, and I didn't listen. So my video came up as standing. Of course, it showed a huge black sides, um, and it's really hard to edit it. So I try to come across, I try to search for websites, um, apps, or software that I could use to edit. I I struggled a little because I'm new to this industry and I'm really not here to like please people. So I just decided to retake the video. However, I would still upload that video. I would just split it into three parts, and I'm hoping that you guys would see that because I poured out my emotions, devotions, and love um, regarding that sensitive topic. And I know, I don't hope so, but I know you can pick up some lessons from that video. And of course, in more videos to come. So anyway, like I said, this topic that we are going to talk about is very sensitive. I have noticed that our society, inclusive of the government, media, multimedia, and other source of news, um, either barely to none, like barely to no discussion related to this topic. The topic is actually child sexual abuse or molestation. Yes, it's been discussed in the news. In fact, huge people with money and politicians and stuff, and people who have power. Yeah, people who have power, and makes it makes the situation look really small. But this topic, this situation is huge. It's more than just it's more than just, um, an abuse. This type of abuse can deteriorate a person, a kid's soul. Yes, um, news actually talk about crime related issues to child sexual abuse and molestation, but there's really no in depth topic. So that's what I am going to discuss today. So, how do we really um, identify if a child is being sexually abused? Because this topic is very sensitive, it's actually hidden in the public. And the most common reason is because besides those powerful offenders who have money and who have position, most of the time, offenders are actually people that we know, people that we trust. And this event actually happens and can happen inside your inside the comfort of your home. And people tend to ignore it. People tend to ignore the signs, to the point that we pretend to be deaf, blind, and even mute to the signs. Even to the point that children come to us and tell us the situation. Because, of course, because the offenders are people we trust and we expect to protect our children, people in our blood or the same blood, people who may have cared for us in the past, people whom we expected and respected. We are in denial. We are in denial that these people that we love and trusted and respected can actually do this. But I am sharing you this because I want you to understand that these signs can be easily ignored, can be easily misinterpreted. But like I said, it can deteriorate a person's soul and spirit. And it can actually cause a huge effect, because a child who have gone through or is going through a child sexual abuse or molestation can actually suffer from this traumatic experience. Or worse, this child can actually grow up, he or she can grow up and become offenders themselves. And that's what we need to stop. It has to stop now. If I don't do this, who will? And if I don't do it now, when? So the signals in the signals that are very common, at least for me, who have gone through it, are the following. So the number one thing in my list is afraid to speak. When you go through or are going through a molestation or a child sexual abuse, the first thing that may actually happen is that you will be threatened. Either you will be threatened of your own life, or you will be threatened of your family's or loved one's life. And of course, because of that, you will be fearful to speak up. But at the same time, you will be fearful to speak up because it's hard to trust. It's really hard to trust someone in a situation like this. because you would know if the person that you will tell your secret is someone that you can trust. What if that person can actually endanger your life even more? Or you could be going through more type of abuse, like physical abuse, emotional, mental, psychological abuse. I mean, like on the side of the molestation. Molestation, of course, can cause physical, mental, psychological abuse, but what I'm trying to say is that a different aspect of abuse that may be adding up on top of the molestation. So you will be afraid to speak. I remember when I was in that situation, it's kind of ironic because when I was in grade school, I I was part of this foundation in the Philippines called Sigla ng Buhay Foundation. And I say ironic because I was actually a spokesperson. I was a representative of this foundation. And we used to go to conferences that discusses about sexual abuse, about child sexual abuse, sexual trafficking, and all kinds of abuse. And when I was going to those conferences, I I was I was active. I was happy. I was willing, and I used to pour out my heart and in being creative. It enhanced my creativity when I was attending that conference or those conferences. In fact, I was so creative that I could create um, strategies how I could overcome or survive an abuse, a molestation. Ironic because I was not able to apply it in real life. It's like it's easier said than done. So as the time passed, I stopped going to that foundation, and my voice also stopped coming out. In short, I had fear to speak. Number two sign that a child is going through a child sexual abuse or molestation is the child prefers to stay outdoors with friends, because our home or our house where has the mother, father, or even aunts and uncles, or grandma or grandparents, and then your siblings, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts. It doesn't matter which relative or which family, whether immediate or extended, is living in that house. It becomes your comfort. It becomes your home. But if that home is not providing you any safety or security, you will look for it outside. That's why they prefer to stay outside. Number three is stealing habits. Stealing habits is very, very sensitive topic for me. When I was growing up, because I didn't have anybody to talk to, I mean, an adult to talk to about my situation. Because I wasn't sure if anybody would actually pay attention to me, would actually take me seriously, or anybody would be approachable. Because definitely the people inside my home, I felt like they're not approachable. I felt like they were not going to back me up. So I had to look for a coping mechanism, and that was stealing. I started stealing inside home. I was stealing from people who have molested me, because for me, they have stolen my innocence. They have stolen something very important for me. And I think it's just fair enough for me to steal something important to them. And at my age, the only important thing that I could think that I could also benefit from was money. Because when you have money, you can buy candies, you can buy bread, cookies, or whatever. But I started growing maybe hatred, jealousy, and envy. When that happened, every time that I see other children having more than what I have, and then when they talk about how happy their family was, it hurt me more. And for me, it made me felt like, how come you deserve something good? How come you deserve something better than me? So I started stealing from other kids, from my schoolmate, my classmate. I used to steal their lunches, their lunch money, nice notebooks. It became really worse. That's why it's a very sensitive topic for me, because I got caught. And children started bullying me. The pain just started growing branches. There's a branch of anger, there's a branch of jealousy, there's a branch of envy, there's a branch of abandonment, there's a branch of maybe guilt. And revenge. When I was caught, I was punished at school. And of course, everybody at school learned about it. I carried that until I graduated in elementary school. And when I went to high school, it haunted me. Because, of course, when you live in the same town and you go to the schools in the same town, everybody knows each other. And of course, I had classmates who were my neighbors. It haunted me.
It was a huge embarrassment to be part of a society who'd never understood me. That's why stealing habits is part of the science. But why am I sharing that now? Because I don't care anymore. It still hurts me. It still upsets me. But I have overcome that already. I have overcame it, and I learned from it. And I don't care if people still talked about me. I guess that's why I'm here. I want to help. I want to help those children. Because I'm pretty sure there are so many more children out there who are going through bullying because of a situation that started from molestation. Children who are going through fear of coming out, fear who to trust. I want to start helping them. I want to spread this message. This way we all can start protecting children. Anyway, the other signs is sleeping on belly. That one is actually not something that I used to do, but as the years gone by, decades have gone by, because I can recognize a person or a kid, a child who is going through child sexual abuse and molestation, I can actually recognize the signs, and I'm able to like learn their ways, and because I can understand them. And I guess when you vibrate the same energy, you feel them and they feel you. And that is actually the reason that people trust me when they come to me. And I get to find out what they've gone through. And one of the people I talked to said she was molested by an uncle, her aunt's brother. She used to like go to her cousin's house and sleep there. It turned out that the uncle was an offender, and every time that he goes to their bedroom, when the light's out, he's touching her. He was touching her in her private parts, of course, the genitals. So because she needed comfort and security, safety and security, the only way for her to do that without cutting her relationship with her cousin, she started sleeping on her belly. I don't know if it stopped because of that, because I had not asked anything about the situation, because we part ways, because of course we were growing up, and she was older than me. Anyway, the next sign is when a child is going through child sexual abuse. The child is afraid to sleep alone or prefers to sleep with someone
um, in the same age and or the same gender. Of course, when a kid is going through a situation like this, it's very hard to be comfortable sleeping alone, because you don't know if the person is gonna go approach you or go to where you sleep at night. However, it's also not safe to be sleeping with different ages. So when you prefer to sleep with the same age bracket and same gender, it's good. It's going to provide you with safety and comfort and security. I say that because I grew up in a third world country, the Philippines, and the Philippines has different statuses as well. Some people would be like in a very coming from a very poor family. Some will be like in the average or immediate, and some will be like in a higher class, and some will be rich. And I guess my family started in a poor status, and then we upgraded to like immediate or an average. Every now and then we were struggling, but with the help of my aunts in the US, who actually helped us. They helped us with our daily needs like food, clothes, shelter. That kind of like surpassed the poverty. However, that did not really stop my offenders to do what they wanted to do, because when you unless you're rich and you have the capability of providing a home with your own bedroom that you can lock all the time, I don't know, I think I am actually contradicting myself now, because I do have a former classmate in college. Right. She had her own bedroom. But she was still molested by her brother. I guess that's a different I don't know. I guess there's really no safe and unsafe place for offenders. They can do something with you. However, in my situation back then, because we didn't have our own bedroom, adults, children, men, women, girls, boys, cousins, siblings, uncles, aunties sleep in the same bedroom. Therefore, when the lights are out, you already know where the hands are going. It's gross. It makes my skin crawl all the time, every time I remember that, because I do have a very vivid memory, especially in incidents that was very traumatic. When the lights are out, their hands are gonna be crawling under the sheets, will be crawling underneath your clothes, touching you from your private parts, your genitals, forcing you to, grabbing your hands, forcing you to touch theirs. To think that it's your relative and you're a child, it's gross. It's really, really gross. I have moved on from that situation, and I have already outgrew and understand where these people coming from. But it does not change my mindset of trying to stop it. It does not change my mindset of trying to help other children. And I need your help for that. It doesn't matter if it's your family, your friends, your parents' friends. You have to think of the future. If the child now is being sexually molested or sexually assaulted, it's going to create a bigger problem in the future. That child can start stealing, but that child can become a robber. That child can grow up as a robber, and because stealing can actually cost someone's life, that person can become a murderer. And God knows, if because you're not doing anything now, maybe 10 years from now it can affect you somehow. You need to start thinking about it now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not next week, not next month or next year. Now. You gotta act now. The number 6 is the number 6 signs on my list is dressed fully covered or barely showing skin. When a child's innocence was stolen, you will not feel comfortable showing your skin. You're gonna feel dirty. I did feel dirty when I was growing up. I felt dirty, especially because I had some offenders who would actually molest me when I'm asleep and leave me money in the bed. Sometimes I'll be half awake, sometimes I'll be asleep, and then when I wake up I just see the money. I didn't think that I was being treated like a prostitute, but I felt dirty. I felt dirty. During my other video, I just then realized that I was treated like a prostitute. That's probably why I felt dirty. There were times that I would take a bath. I feel like even shampooing, scrubbing with soap, the dirt is not coming off. It's not coming off. The other sign is dressed in the opposite gender clothing. I used to do this. I used to dress in another gender's clothing because
it made me feel safe, because I felt like if I am fully covered, maybe they will not see anything disrespectful. Maybe they will not see anything tempting. You know, like when you go to a supermarket and you see all the bear meat laying on the counter, you just tempted, like you want to eat it, you want to buy it, like in a deli. It's like that, except it's dressed like a child. It's horrific. It's horrific. It's horrible. It's unexplainable feeling. Number 8 on my list. This is very important. Many people can definitely miss this part. When a child is being sexually abused or molested by somebody inside your home, you have to keep an eye on the changes in the house, because the offenders or the offender will be paying close attention to that child. They will look very close, like they're best friends and stuff like that. They'll pay more attention. They'll pay more attention to the person or the child's needs, wants, and even when sleeping, they're gonna put on the blanket or whatever. While sleeping, they will be hanging out together. I guess because they don't want other offenders to touch their victim. But at the same time, maybe because the offender feels guilty from time to time, that's why the offender wants to give that child's needs or wants, whatever. I guess just a payment on the person's the child's needs. I'm sorry. My dog is like walking around. Anyway, so the next signal is, or sign is, the number 9, which is rebellious. Being rebellious, neglecting school or studies, and talking back. My cousin was like that. She was rebellious. And she talks back all the time. I guess she was talking back courageously and probably trying to gain courage to like tell the truth. But I didn't know that she was being molested as well. despite that I was telling my school friends about, actually college friends, because I never told anyone else, I think. But I told them about it, but I could not trust anybody else other than them. But the reason that I trusted them is because one of my friends who told me about her brother showed trust in me as well. So it kind of like, I kind of like reciprocated, or she reciprocated. I guess because I was also, my emotion was all bursting, and I felt like a prisoner inside me, and nobody can see it, nobody can understand it, and I needed somebody to talk to, at least somebody to listen. And my friends in college were the ones who helped me, and I really appreciate them. But inside home, I had no one. I didn't even talk to my cousin, and I didn't even know that she was experiencing it. I did try to run away from my offenders whenever they would do something like that, especially if it's daytime, because that happened to me day or night, lights out or lights on. In some circumstances I was able to run away. In some circumstances I was able to not really fight, but just run away. But during those times that I could not run away or I could not scream, the reason that I was not screaming and I just allowed things to happen, because I was thinking of my other cousin, because she was 2-3 years younger than me. And at the back of my head, every time that I feel the touch, I was thinking, it's okay. I am okay. As long as he's not doing this to her, I will allow it to happen. I was so devastated. I was angry, mad at myself and not at them, my offenders. First of all, because that's a little kid. She was little. Like, I was what? When these things happened or started, 8 years old. And she was what? Like 6 or 5? Who has the heart to do that? I know that we go through tough times. We go through different traumatic experiences. Let's just say they've experienced that too. Fine. I'm actually gonna talk about that in a different video, but I just want to say something now. When somebody's teaching you something that's wrong, you have your brain, let it work. You have to realize that there are things that you need to unlearn. There are things that you need to stop doing, especially doing to other little kids. If you are watching this and you're doing this to little kids, You have no soul. You have no soul. And you need to stop. You need to stop. Anyway, because of my cousin being rebellious and talking back, when we were like in college, I was already in college, like right before or maybe, yeah, I was in college, like maybe a year or something before I got married. There was a chaos in the house regarding finances, regarding, no, I was in high school. I was going to attend a JS junior and senior prom. Yeah, that was in high school. I was going to attend a junior and senior prom, and I was allowed to attend, but for some reason there was a chaotic situation about money, and my cousin just exploded, and she started talking about, do you want me to tell mom about what you're doing? She started crying. She started bursting. She bursted into tears. And I got curious what she was talking about. And then I asked her. She told me about things that they were doing. Things that they were doing to me and that they were doing to her as well. Even up to now, I salute her courage for speaking up. Because I don't know if they were gonna stop if she didn't speak up. And I wanna help children to speak up. Because maybe if I spoke up, instead of thinking, I'm gonna save her by allowing this thing to happen, it didn't. Maybe if I spoke up, despite that I was being physically abused by my aunt, maybe if I decided to speak up and told her anyway, at least tried, maybe at least it would have probably ended a while back. Anyway, the number 10 on my list as a signal or sign of a child is being sexually abused or molested is a child is showing inappropriate the child is showing sexually inappropriate behavior, and also the child will be drawing sexual objects. I've seen many of my family, the children in my family and relatives, who have done that. In short, masturbation. When I was little, I thought that's normal, like to masturbate at a young age. I thought it's just, oh, okay, this is a normal feeling, so it's fine. And then, because I also saw it, and I've been experiencing stuff, the molestation stuff, so I didn't really think that all these things, I know it felt wrong. I know I didn't want things to happen, but it's just, things just become normal. I never told anyone, but it came out anyway in my drawings. I used to love I love I used to love drawing. I used to love drawing anything. Girls, boys, man, trees, nature. But I guess because there's something hidden inside me, that it just came out in the drawing. And I tell you, if there's a child in your home that is experiencing that, it's going to come out in the drawing. Even psychologists, therapists, they when I was going through when I was studying psychology, we would look at drawings and interpret the drawings. And when I was a kid, I didn't know better. All I knew was I wanted to keep that secret, but it showed up in my drawings. In fact, I was not the only one who was going through that. There's this kid that was a niece. She's a niece of my daughter's babysitter. She used to draw genitals. I talked to her about it. She also used to steal a lot. I talked to her about it. I educated her. I guided her, and I made sure that I was approachable in anything that if she needed help. I I opened my home. I opened my heart for her, to her, and I made sure that if there's when she needed something, I provided for her when she was in she was staying with me. Many of these signs that I have given you or shared to you today, many of these are so easily to miss. You can just overlook at them and think that everything is just normal. But be vigilant in your own home. Be vigilant in your own children. Even if it's not your own children, even if your friend's children, even if a stranger's children, if you see that somebody is behaving and acting so differently, act. You need to act. We need to start loving, guiding, and protecting these children. Need to act now. Well, I hope you picked up some lessons on this video, and I would like to know if you have experienced anything similar, and if you did, what did you do
to overcome it? What did you do to um, what did you do for it to come out? I'm sorry, I can't find the right word. What did you do for the secret to come out? Did you go to your parents? Did you go to the cops? Our situation came out, but it was not legally handled. But I know that those offenders are reaping what they sowed. I'm not saying I'm happy about it, but I am just saying that we all reap what we sow, and we just need to see the outcome and pick up the lessons, move on, and change. If it's a behavior that's wrong, if you think that it's wrong, it means you are conscious. Then you have to stop. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.